today in this room, leaders of companies that are driving exports forward, individuals who are creating new companies, were united in their discourse today about looking forward, about building a future for Ireland, about not looking back and trying to find scapegoats, but about recognising in everyone there is a leadership challenge.
And the whole idea of internationalising Irish business, of course, and the success that we achieve in that respect will be a critical factor in determining the level of success we can achieve in overcoming the present adverse situation and moving forward. There are a lot of good things happening even in the context of the difficulties that we face at the moment. And it is in the interest of ourselves and indeed the business community generally that the people of our country hear about those success stories more often, that they see through the ingenuity and entrepreneurial capacity of our own people, where people are redesigning their businesses, where they are changing and adapting in order to meet new needs and devise new products and new services.
I think the Irish are underestimated. We're again going to be underestimated. We were massively overestimated in the last number of years. Paul mentioned my time with Athlone Extrusions. I worked in a very difficult commodity business. I seem to choose my career path rather without too much forethought. But that business was a very difficult commodity business in the UK in the 80s. And we did tremendous market share. We got tremendous market share gains simply because we were completely underestimated and stayed below the radar. And of course, played that role very well. And I think our historical status as being colonised rather than the other way around helps us. We are the underdog, and we should maintain that position. And I think we certainly are also liked. And if I talk about some of the major markets that we deal in, Germany, Spain, Italy, and dealing with governments, regional governments, and airports there, in my experience, we have a running start over, say, people from Britain or another large country, which is immediately suspected rather than welcomed, in my experience. You've got to identify the key competitive advantage. Why are you going to make a big investment going abroad if you don't have something special to offer over and above the incumbents, over and above what may not be there at all at the moment?
Does your business model work in other countries? Can it work in other countries? If not, what do you do to fix it? Michael Dell in the 1990s ran into problems when he tried to internationalize because he found aspects of the Dell model, including, say, credit card usage to purchase a product, was not necessarily something that could work in China or in other parts of the world at that point in time. Have you thought about that? If you rely on internet bookings or credit card usage, and you find that perhaps 5-6% of people in Tajikistan or in Ecuador actually have credit cards, then what does that mean to your business? Yes, think survival. I'm aware that you have to think survival. I'm not unrealistic, despite being an academic. However, you also need to think strategically. You need to be proactive. You need to think ahead, move ahead, and start looking for opportunities as quickly as you can right now. A true strategist prepares for the upturn, is proactive in their approach, despite the gloom that may surround them. So the last idea I'll let you with really is, I don't believe it's ever the wrong time to seize the initiative and to seize opportunity. And there are lots of opportunities out there, not very far away and far away, depending on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to sell.
Enterprise Ireland, IDA, they won't do it for you. They're there to support. And that's how you've got to look at it. And I'll go back to the ethos of an organisation. I said earlier that the way we look at ourselves is we are an international group. We're Irish, we're proud of being Irish, we're headquartered in Ireland, yet less than 2% of our total turnover is generated from the Irish market. So we have to be international, and we have to think internationally. And I don't buy into the theory that, well, it's easy for Glen Dimplex, or it's easy for CRH, or it's easy for Glanbia because you're large, you can afford it, you have all these resources. That's a myth. And I also, when I see headlines like, Irish industry must diversify, for example, because of a currency situation, that's reactive. That's not what business is about. We need to be proactive. We need to be out there ahead. And it starts with the owners and the chief executives of the business. If you don't believe in internationalizing, it will never happen. And believe me, it's hard work. Being international is part of our DNA. That is how we think. We don't go looking for markets because we have 10% surplus capacity somewhere. Or we don't go looking for markets because we want to diversify our currency. We get out there because we believe there are markets there for our products. And again, the idea of people saying, I haven't got the time to do it. There is never the perfect time to do it. And Thomas mentioned there's never a wrong time to do it. Now, you can look at both sides of the glass, half full or half empty. Unless, as a chief executive, you free up that amount of your own personal capacity to get out there and do it, it won't happen.
But ultimately, it's like everything you do in life. You must try to take control of your own destiny as far as possible. And somebody that's, if we're blaming the government or EI for not helping us enough, we're in the wrong place. We've got to take the initiative, got to be in control of it. Of course, look to support where it can come, and support, the best support is on the networking and market intelligence, market information. I think this networking area is hugely, hugely important, and I would encourage any companies who are now going out on the overseas destiny, if you like, to use the Irish network overseas, whether it's the diaspora, the expats, the companies that have gone out, whether it's CRH or Smurfit, Kappa or Project Manager. I'm very fortunate to be associated directly with 3 companies who are very, very successful in the overseas thing. To network, we don't want people ringing on our bell every day, I have to say, we're kind of busy. But genuinely, people want to be helpful. It's extraordinary how much help you can get from going in talking to chief executives or people from other companies. We do it all the time. Roughly half of our business is in the United States, but 2 years ago, we were employing about 50,000 people in the US, almost half the number of people that were employed in Ireland by US companies. So very large US presence. But we leverage that. So when we're going to China or going to India, we go as an Irish company, but we also go as an American company. So we're looking to the US State Department and the US Chambers of Commerce to set up contacts for us locally. It's just to get the entree, to get the credibility, to get the market intelligence. And I think no matter how big or small you are, you've got to take every bit of help you can get.